Being broke is no excuse to not be beautiful, and you better be doing the best you can with what you have if you don't want to be broke anymore. I don't care if you're a man or woman watching this. Beauty is currency and it affects all of us no matter what walk of life you're in. Beauty inspires opportunity. Beauty gives you that cushion so when you step out into an appearance biased world, it's not as harsh to you. I think it's so silly when people get on the internet and try to make fun of people for trying to look better. I feel like they always neglect to talk about the sociological effects of why people are in pursuit of beauty in the first place. The investment in beauty pays you back. It's all about allocating your funds in the right places so that you get the best bang for your buck. Holding out for the laser session instead of getting the wax, which gives you more permanent results unless you need a quick fix. Investing in the nail kit so you don't have to be going to the salon all the time, or investing in learning how to thread your eyebrows. I feel like basic self-grooming practices should be self-taught. It's really nice to go and pay and have a service done, especially when you're not really skilled in that service. Okay, so for me as a creative person, I'm really creative and I'm really obsessed with the creative process, and it's just too much for me to put how I look and how I'm going to present myself to the world in the hands of another who I'm not really familiar with their art. So for me, I've taught myself to do everything, and the things that I'm not the best at, I stopped telling myself that I wasn't good at them so I could at least be good at the basics. When you go out there and you pay for a beauty service, you're not guaranteed to like the service. But if you are doing your nails yourself and you mess up, at least you didn't lose as much money. And even though a lot of things can be affordable, it doesn't really take that much money to put yourself together and look good. Sometimes the affordable things are just cheap. And then you have to spend money twice to do it right. That's why I feel like the best thing you can do for yourself as a woman is become your own glam team. To me, it is so frustrating to put how I'm going to look in the hands of other human beings. And I know what you're going to say, like, well, what if they're a professional? You're going to want a professional so that you can execute the level of beauty you want to. But if you can't do that on a consistent basis, how are you going to be able to capitalize on that beauty? And it costs money to get a professional. In the long run, it's just going to be better to know how to do everything yourself, because then you can replicate that and then capitalize on that beauty consistently. For me, on my own glam team, so I don't have to commit to certain looks like, oh, let me get the nude, let me get the pink white, because it goes with everything. I can change my nails every week if I wanted to align with whatever look I want to do. And in that way, it kind of sets me apart because most people aren't able to do that themselves. When it comes to skin, you really don't need that much. You need just a good diet and skincare routine. I also want to thank you guys for your sweet comments in the last video. I really appreciate those of you who support me, because a lot of people like to gaslight me on my looks and how I look, and it's a lot. So I really am so appreciative. I didn't really think the focal point of that last video would be the fact that I wasn't wearing makeup. I thought it would be the food content, but I just want to say I am a creative person. I love makeup. I like putting myself together, and my motivations for beautifying myself and wearing makeup is completely different from most people. So as a content creator, my job essentially is to be engaging. There are millions of ways to be engaging without even speaking on camera. So how am I going to be engaging with my looks, right? So more than often, if there's going to be a camera around and I'm filming, my motivation for the makeup that I'm doing is, one, to align with the message I'm trying to convey, but it's also giving like, well, how do I want to be perceived? How do I want to come off? How is my makeup aligning with my message? Do I want to be more bitchy today? Do I want to have darker eyebrows? Do I want to be more sweeter? Do I want to do lots of blush on the apples of the cheek? So my motivation for putting myself together in makeup is completely manipulative. Yes, of course, I use it for beautifying myself and feeling good and feeling confident and raising my vibration, because that's what beauty does. However, as a content creator, my job is to keep you engaged. So let's say, like, regardless of whether you think my makeup is great or bad, like I did a really blushed up look on one of my videos and a lot of you loved it and a lot of you hated it. You told me I look like a rag doll looking crazy and told me that everyone was lying to me. Does it really matter from the content creator perspective? No, because you know what? You commented. I got you to talk. I got you to engage. If my makeup is distracting enough, you won't even listen to what I'm saying. You'd be focused on the appearance and the aesthetics of it, that you have to go back and watch that shit again and increase my watch time. So I want to employ all of you to think a lot bigger here when you make your assumptions. Also, like I said, depending on the type of message I want to convey, it would benefit me to look different. If I'm talking about pretty privilege, wouldn't it make sense that I maybe put some pink on and went for a more softer and sweeter look to appeal to people? When you think about what pink is psychologically associated with, pink has connotations of being sweeter, cute, inviting, friendly, softer. And then what you think about what pink is being associated with from a spiritual perspective, you think of pink and green as close to the heart chakra. Pink is also associated with feminine energy. And also, when you think about candle magic and people doing candle spells, what do they go for? They go for a pink candle when they want to sweeten up someone, when they want to promote self-love or all these other things. Now, if I want to inspire calm and trust in you, maybe I'll wear some blue that day. Maybe I'll put some blue eyeshadow on. I truly, truly believe everyone looks better with well applied makeup. Now, I feel like a lot of you think because you constantly see me with lashes, long nails, makeup, wigs, I think that you think that I'm insecure and that I need all of that to be beautiful. And to some of you, even feminine, which makes no sense because why would I need all of this to be feminine when I have a feminine face? Now, I also think a lot of people, the more low intelligence people, think that if you're wearing a lot of makeup, if a woman's wearing a lot of makeup in here, she must be insecure about herself. Now, I'm not saying some people aren't insecure with themselves and that's why they use makeup as a tool to make themselves feel better, but not everyone. Well, Carmelita, if you're so beautiful without this makeup, why do you slather it on your face? For manipulation purposes. If you couldn't tell by the content and the things I teach you guys, I'm obviously very manipulative. Okay? I don't need all the extra accoutrements to make myself beautiful because I did the right thing. I invested in physical beauty. I take care of my body. I take care of my skin. I take care of my hair. I get my treatments when I need to get them. And this is what I'm trying to tell you. The real bag is a beautiful body. The real bag is what I'm seeing here. You could decorate yourself in the most expensive, luxurious things. And if you don't look like someone who has those things, you look like a poser. So I don't need a wig, hair, and makeup and lashes to be beautiful. I don't need that. And obviously you guys can see that now. And I will say I'm objective enough of a person to really look outside of myself and be like, I'm not just gonna sit here and be like, oh, I'm the most beautiful woman without makeup. I'm also not ugly. Let's get that off the table. I'm objective enough to say that it's two different types of beauty. It's natural beauty and another type of beauty. One is not better than the other. One is not more valuable than the other. It's just two different types of beauty. And you know what? Just because I'm naturally beautiful without makeup doesn't make me better than the bitch who has a full face of makeup on. And I feel like that's what a lot of like the low effort, low maintenance girls like to really ride on. Like, I'm natural. I don't need all of that, blah, blah, blah. And then they try to like talk shit about girls who do, you know, put that extra effort into maintenance. Just because I'm naturally beautiful doesn't mean I'm better than like the chick with a full face of makeup on. It doesn't mean I'm naturally any worse either. And I'm gonna be so real here because I really can read between the lines. Am I more beautiful without makeup, or do you feel more comfortable looking at me when I don't have any makeup on? Am I more relatable to you? Are my words not as intimidating to you when I am in my natural state? Because that's the vibe I really get. It's not that I'm any better without makeup or more beautiful with makeup. It's just that people feel more comfortable looking at me or talking to me or listening to me without the thing when they think I'm not as beautiful. That's really what it is. And that's really what a lot of people do to people, like girls without like, anyways. I don't care how much y'all call me a drag queen for wearing wigs and makeup. I'm never gonna sit here and tone down my beauty for to make someone else feel better about themselves, to make someone who doesn't have the necessary skill set to put themselves together feel better about themselves. I'm never gonna do that. I feel like there's a lot of these crazy repressed women who go around policing other girls' looks and femininity based off of standards that men have set for women, like, oh, well, you know, men prefer natural, when in reality most men don't even know what natural beauty is. And another question, why is my femininity being policed so much? I'll tell you why. My femininity is being policed so much, not necessarily because of the topics and the content that I create revolving around aesthetics and beauty. It's because I'm a beautiful woman and there's a heightened focus on my appearance because I am beautiful. But that doesn't mean that the ugly girl isn't getting it. That doesn't mean that the girl who is in a male dominated field, such as sports, the rugby player, Alona Maher, that doesn't mean that she isn't getting it. Why do you think she makes content for women to embrace their bigger shoulders and their more masculine bodies and all these things? And she's like the beacon of hope for like women who don't necessarily fit the conventional standards of beauty because they're on that field policing her femininity too. It doesn't matter who you are, man or woman. You will never escape people judging you based off of how you look. And that's why you need to be happy for you. You need to be beautiful for yourself. Don't let these people, these crazy, repressed people make you feel bad for doing what you want to do with your body. At the end of the day, you're the only one you need to make proud. I've said this before, but if you can't afford the things to really like the hardcore things that you need, you have to focus on the things that you can control. When it comes to your teeth, no one is ever going to tell you that you need to whiten your teeth. No one is ever going to tell you that. If you can't get your teeth aligned, it's just best to make sure that your dental hygiene is on point and that they're white. And then there's being high maintenance so that you can be low maintenance. So it's like investing in good skincare so that you don't need the makeup unless you like wearing it, or investing in the beauty procedures that you need so you have perfected features so that when you're not wearing any makeup, you will naturally be perceived as beautiful. It's really all about investing your money smartly so that you can get the best bang for your bucks. When it comes to nails, like in 2020, I decided to teach myself how to do acrylics. That was my quarantine skill. And I probably spent no more than $1,500 on nail products since 2020. That's like so much savings. And here's the thing, nail products are so cheap. You don't have to go out your way and teach yourself how to do acrylics and all these crazy styles. That was just something I was creatively inclined to do. But I feel like every girl should know how to at least create a basic style that she rocks at home. There's no reason why you should have to go to a nail salon every 2 weeks. If you invested in learning through YouTube how to do your nails, you can change your nails up every single week. And think about that, because you know how to do your own nails, you're going to be able to capitalize off that beauty a lot more. So one of the things that Pretty Privilege does for you is it makes you look like you haven't lived a hard life at all. And for me, what I noticed, like, as I've gotten more beautiful and physically leveled up and like etc., is that people look at me and they put me on a different pedestal. So I notice a lot of people think that I'm a lot richer than I am. They think I have sugar daddies paying for things. They're wondering, they're trying to count my pockets. They're assuming that I'm living a better life than they are. And thus they treat me better because of it. And then if you throw a little social proof of success on there, like maybe they know of my online presence, then they start acting now they're on their best behavior because they're in front of a star in their eyes. Now, obviously the goal is to have money and look like you have money, right? You don't want to like look rich and not be rich. But here's the thing. If people like to help people who help themselves, people like to invest their money into people who look like they got it going on and not people who don't, then how are you going to get that money? How are you going to get people to give you money? How are you going to get people to invest time and energy in you when you don't look like someone worth investing time and energy in? There's a reason why these influencers in LA will go and rent mansion-looking Airbnbs and film in the most luxurious neighborhoods with the most expensive cars behind them. It's because of appearance bias. They're trying to sell a fantasy. There wouldn't be so many of them renting designer bags and investing in the image of wealth if it didn't work, if it wasn't going to get them to the next level. The world is so superficial, and I feel like I teach this on the channel. I think so many people are so like, not you guys, because y'all are smart. And the people who do support me, thank you. Thank you. The girls who get it, get it. But the world is beyond superficial, and most people don't even realize their biased habits. If someone's apartment or their fixtures aren't the most luxury, you're going to scroll and not give them an opportunity to blow themselves up so they could have the money to maybe afford that kind of luxury. No, when you're content creating, people want to be inspired to get out of their situation. They want to listen to someone who looks like they have money, has money, looks like they've got it going on, look like they have, you get what I'm saying. You get it. There's a reason why people are doing this. So to get online and make fun of people and be like, you're broke because you're high maintenance, you got no money because you're trying to keep up with the Joneses. How about we be a little bit more kind and compassionate and think about why these people are doing this? Why is there such a demand for beauty maintenance? Because most of y'all are discriminating on people for being who they are and how they are born. Ask yourself this: if people rather help people who are affluent versus broke, how are you going to attract that money to you? And this is why, if you're broke, being beautiful, being pretty, being smart, it's so much more paramount for you than someone who's rich. Because in reality, if you're rich and you have all this money, you don't really gotta care. But if you really look at people who are ridiculously rich and have all that money, they're still ridiculously investing in beauty for a reason. It's like going to the hospital and thinking, okay, well, my ailment's not that bad, but I'm gonna make myself look a little bit more disheveled, like mess my hair up a little bit, maybe like get the snot going, maybe put some Visine, give myself a little mascara, black eyes, so I get treated faster and better and I get more attention. And then you're in the waiting room of the emergency room, and then the pretty girl over there in the pink shirt with the nosebleed is getting more attention and getting seen faster than you. It's because beauty raises people's vibration. People want to associate with things that make them look good, make them better, inspire them to be better. It's like this whole dating thing, dating for personality, is more of a new thing, when in reality, if you really think about history, most people have dated. People get married for increasing their wealth. Rich people back then are not looking at the poor person and like, oh, I'm gonna date like a poor person. Like, it's usually for social status, wealth, and all these things. And the dating for personality is more of a new age thing that men without money used to manipulate women. The reality is, I am doing all my maintenance from head to toe. And then when I step out into the world, people think that everyone's paying for me to look this way. I'm being taken care of. I'm benefiting from the stigmas of doing all these accoutrements. I'm benefiting from the stigmas of having my nails done, having my hair done, having my makeup done, and I'm being placed on a higher pedestal as someone who takes care of themselves and has standards and is well paid, because people know it takes money to be beautiful. But I'm benefiting from all of that without spending any money because I'm doing it myself. Like, okay, not any money, but not as much money as most of you guys spend to, okay, but not most of you, not you, y'all my girls, but like the other ones spending all that money to not look half as good. When it comes to hair extensions, wigs, and just hair in general, that's one thing you can really be cheap with. I used to be really cheap with the hair and it never lasted me long enough. Years ago, get the wigs from AliExpress in China, thinking like, well, it's thick. I mean, you kind of get the same look, and then it's like shedding everywhere. And after a few washes, the hair is just like dry and just like matting and all these things you don't want to deal with extensions and wigs. And my bestie told me, he was like, usually what they'll do is they'll get the scrap hair from the floor, align it, they'll seal it with a silicone material to make it seem soft and nice, sew it to the cap, and then sell it to you. And then you're thinking, oh my God, it's so soft, blah, 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 blah. And then after a couple washes, you're literally left with a rat's nest. And honestly, it might not even be human quality. So I feel like I used to be really cheap with hair, and I learned my lesson the first time I invested a lot of money into hair. It's kind of like investing to be low maintenance. Embarrassing, but honestly, like I remember with one of my units, this was so long ago, I was traveling so much that I really didn't have time to sit here and maintain and wash it. And I was a dirty bitch. I'm going to be so straightforward. I was a dirty bitch with that one wig. And you know what? I ran the flat iron through it, curled it, and it looked like brand new, looked flawless. So if you invest money in good hair that doesn't need as much maintenance to look good, then you're saving money in the long term because it's going to last you longer. And then also, you're going to look better. Certain things you just can't be cheap with. Thick hair signifies fertility, health, radiance. You could have gorgeous long flowing hair and wear no makeup and look like $1,000,000 because you have great hair. Hair is so important. It's like a crown, and honestly, it affects so many people's confidence. But let's say you know you're not with the extensions and the wigs and stuff, you're not about all of that, but maybe you have thinning hair, then wouldn't it be better to invest in a hairline transplant so that you feel comfortable and you don't have to wear hats all the time? And you, like, if you're a man, you don't have to wear hats all the time. You don't have to spray in with the color or get the micropigment tattoos. Being high maintenance to be low maintenance. If you're a guy and you're balding, you're like Norwood, like 5 or 6, or like high on the chart, wouldn't it make sense to save that money up, spend it on the hairline transplant so that you don't have to keep investing in hats and like ways to cover up your hair? And this goes for anything. It's the same thing with quality clothing. For me, I used to be so cheap with the clothing because I grew up with a mom who was very frugal, and it was almost giving very like, if you could get all the cheapest items and put them together and make yourself look like a star, it was like, I'm better than you, like F you rich people. So I grew up with a pretty frugal mom, and it was always like getting everything on sale. Like, why are you spending all that money on that? It was like really looked down to invest in like quality. And the thing is, that mentality stuck with me. That mentality had me shivering in the Chicago winter in a cheap Fashion Nova jacket that looked cute, because you know, why spend that much money on a coat when you can get one that's cute for $40? And that left me shivering all of Chicago winter. It made my experience a lot more harsher than what already happened to me or what was going on. I remember the first time I discovered Lululemon, my friend would tell me how I should get their stuff. And at first I thought it was more of a social pressure thing to fit in, because everybody on Wall Street wore Lululemon, and it was kind of an unspoken thing that the girls and the boys who wore Gymshark, it was kind of an unspoken thing that maybe they didn't have as much money, or they didn't have money, because anyone who had money is wearing Lululemon. But the thing is, like, I was just kind of like, okay, this is like societal pressure, social pressures. Like, I don't want to be like pressured into like, you know, joining the Lulu clique because everyone else on Wall Street is wearing Lululemon and I don't really blend in. So like, I ended up getting the Gymshark leggings, and they were like half the price of the Lulu ones that I wanted. And it didn't even last me 2 wears. It gave me like a gnarly camel toe that was not cute. It had a lot of crotch gathering. And then it ripped a hole in it because of my nail. And I could have took half that money. Oh my God, what happened? I could have took half of that money and put that towards a new pair of leggings that were gonna last me 5+ years. Quality over quantity and cheap things. You want to think about the experience you're getting out of things. It's so sad to say, but my favorite ever, like, oh my God, I'll show you. Okay, so this was one of my first ever Lululemon purchases. It is a teddy kind of, anyways, it's really insulating. It's super warm. The hoodie is so cute. It fits my head. And it's just so, like, I love it so much. It's so sad to say, but when I got this in 2021, it was one of the first winters I've ever really felt warm, because I had quality clothing and I never invested in quality clothing. Do it right or do it twice. I've had to learn this lesson so many damn times. I got the cheaper duvet and it's ripped, and I gotta get another one right now. It's like, learn from my lessons. Do it right or do it twice. Sometimes it's going to be better to just literally hold off if you don't have the money to do certain things, and then get the thing that's going to give you the best experience. When I walked around in FireEye wearing this, making content, because I always needed a background, Manhattan is just the most beautiful backdrop. I'd be warm, I'd be comfortable. My experience of creating content would be a lot easier. So when it comes to investing beauty, another thing is it's just not for other people only, but it's for your experience and your comfort of how you're going to move through your life. I kind of wish I wasn't so fat when I did that shopping spree, because I got all these like size like 10, size 8 things, and now none of them fit me. But I will never get rid of this, just because literally, like, It keeps me so warm. I will say the solution to getting wealthier is not by cutting back on your beauty maintenance. It's about being really strategic with how you're investing your money in any industry, whether it's beauty or not. If you want to make money, you've got to invest. You'll hear this across all boards. So if you're someone who makes money off your personal magnetism, whether you're a man or a woman, beauty maintenance is going to be an investment that's going to get you more money back. And it's kind of like if you don't, I'll tell you straight up right now, as someone who's like invested in beauty, like much more so than most people, my life would not be as good as it is now. My life wouldn't be as easy as it is now if I didn't spend that money. I'll tell you wholeheartedly. There were so many times where I never wanted to spend that money, and I was just like most people thinking like, I could get it for cheaper. Do I really need to do that? Maybe I should half-ass it. Maybe I should this and a third. And it just never works out well. You have to spend the money. And if you don't got the money, you need to become an alchemist. You need to be able to turn lead to gold. And here's the thing. Do not sit here and feel bad about the fact that I'm like, you clicked a video, probably expecting for me to say things to make you feel better about being lazy about your appearance or kind of soothe your ego. Don't feel bad. I feel like if you're someone, I've had ups and downs with finances over the years, as anyone in their 20s does. I will tell you, I was able to bounce back so much easier from like the times I've hit in rock bottom simply because I am beautiful. No other reason, simply because of that. And that is so crazy to say, but if you're broke and you can't afford all of these things, good. Good. I'm going to say good for you, because you know what? I was there at some point in my life, and you know what? I became resourceful. Why do you think I know how to do my nails? Why do you think I know how to do my makeup? Why do you think I know how to install a wig? Why do you think I'm able to really make myself look so different? My goal is never to be relatable. I don't want to look like I look natural every day when I'm not even like, my goal is not to be relatable. My goal is to live a life of luxury. My goal is to build wealth. And I've got to look a certain way and do certain things to get there. And honestly, when I make these videos, I'm assuming that I'm talking to someone who wants better for their life and, you know, is the overachiever and maybe a perfectionist like myself. If you want a mediocre lifestyle, then maybe the things I'm saying might not apply to you. I actually would prefer to spend a large sum of money on a beautifying procedure than a bag to make myself look wealthy. I feel like for looking how I do, I've even been a victim of having other girls make me feel a type of way for not carrying a designer bag, a new bag all the time, or just like wearing a bag that's not designer. But the reality is, at the end of the day, if you're someone who's walking around with a designer replica or a bag that is so expensive, like 100K, 20K, 40K, 50K, if you're walking around with that and you look like someone who shouldn't have that, then you just look like a poser. You're not doing yourself any justice. Whereas like someone who's invested in physical beauty, their body, their hair, their skin, their teeth, you can look at them and associate them with being wealthier because like a beautiful white aligned smile. You're going to associate someone with great dental hygiene as having money. That person looks like they should be carrying a Chanel bag. If you're walking around with a busted brill, looking crazy, cheap ass hair, and you're carrying a Chanel bag or Hermes bag, bitch, you're not fooling anybody. This is why I personally, I'll say this, I am a big advocate for investing in physical beauty, your body. You could wear a garbage bag and still make it look expensive. Now, I feel like when you get into new tiers of wealth and you're hanging around different levels of money, and that's when they will more so come in and judge your shoes and what you're wearing. But at the end of the day, just because you're wealthy doesn't mean you're guaranteed to look beautiful or good. And that's why if you're poor, it's even more paramount for you to be beautiful. If you really think about a pretty broke girl versus an ugly, fat broke girl, who do you think is going to get out of a poverty-stricken situation faster? The gorgeous girl there's gonna be more opportunities for her to climb out of her situation, whereas the ugly fat girl who's not pretty is going to have a lot harder of a time. You have to be smart. You have to be resourceful. But if you're beautiful and smart, you can make things happen faster for yourself. It is so toxic and so sinister that people will get on YouTube and try to lie to all y'all. I get it. My content might not make you feel like you're enough, but I'd rather sit here and give you the truth so that when you go out into the world, you are more prepared to deal with how the world is going to discriminate against you. I'm here to motivate you. Obviously, you need money to look good, but beauty is the gift that keeps on giving. Remember that. You've got to be an alchemist. You've got to turn lead to gold. Like I said earlier, I feel literally embarrassing talking about it, but some of the best times I've ever looked like a supermodel, I was walking out the door with $1 in my bank account. No one treated me different. Everyone treated me like a beautiful, privileged woman. I was treated well. Like the world was pretty nice to me when I, wanted to shoot myself in the head. So that's what I'm saying. You never really know people's situations. Like a lot of the people that you think are so wealthy and so rich and are doing so good, they're not necessarily sharing the things that they're going through. And it might not be all that. You might even have more money than them or are living a better situation than them. But the thing is you're not perceiving them as someone who's struggling. And therefore, most people aren't going to perceive them as someone who's struggling, and they're more likely to be helped faster than someone who looks like they're struggling. It's messed up, but nobody likes a victim. No one does. It's just so silly to me that beauty is currency in this world for most women. And then people get on here and try to make fun of people trying to do better for themselves or make themselves look better. When society's creating these external pressures to have these things, to have the new iPhone, if you don't have the new iPhone, like, what are you doing? If you don't have the new this, what are you doing? Like, society creates all these pressure to be perfect and beautiful, to have the fillers, have the nose job, have all these things. And then when these girls go and do it, you go and make fun of them. You call them a bitch, you say there's something wrong with them. Why do they act like that? People who do this, do that, and the third. But you never really sit here and think, what drove these people to do this to themselves? Something to think about. Obviously, there needs to be a level of discernment when it comes to spending your money on beauty. You never want to spend more than you can afford to spend unless you know you're going to get that money back and you have that faith and trust in yourself, because who else is going to believe in you? But you've got to invest in yourself. But so there needs to be a level of discernment so you're not deriving yourself of your most basic resources. But when you're investing your money, I really want you to think about, what's the experience from having this item gonna be like? Because that's what a lot of beautifying yourself is. It's so that you have a better life experience. So for example, is it gonna be better for you to get the Burt's Bees? Your lips are chapped, you're in the waiting line, it's right there, it's cheap, it's buy two, get one free, you pick it up, you're like, oh. Or is it gonna be better for you to save your money and go for the $20, $30 Laneige lip balm, which is going to have your lips emoliated and moisturized for hours on end, and you won't get dry, chapped skin. Here's the thing. The beauty industry, amongst others, are so sinister. They'll put ingredients in the Burt's Bees chapstick so that your lips dry out faster, so that you use more of it. And if you're not smart enough and you haven't figured it out, oh my God, buy two, get one free. I have another one. Oh my God, why would I go and spend $30 on a lip balm when I can get my Burt's Bees for this amount? I get two, for the price. They do it so that you keep going back and that they have a recurring customer, unless you're smart enough to figure out that this is making your lips even more chapped. It's the same thing with the movie theaters. Let's get the popcorn, let's salt that shit up so we get them thirsty. Let's make our drinks expensive as hell so they have no choice to buy it because they're so thirsty. On top of it, let's put a little more ingredients to make it a little more addictive so they want more snacks, so they purchase more. This is why you have to have discernment and you need to be smart with how you're investing your money. You really have to think about the long term here in terms of what this product is going to provide for you. I'm going to get the Laneige lip balm because you know what? I've already done the cheaper ones that chap my lip. They never last. I always lose them. But because I enjoy my Laneige lip balm, I always use that. And honestly, I haven't replaced it in so long because it does the job. It's also like the iPhone. I'm sure they could make the perfect iPhone by now, but is there money in that? Is there money in giving you a set of AirPods and a charger, or can I make that for separate make the court separate to charge more money and make more money long term. You see how these industries are so sinister and they just keep you getting to spend your money? These industries will create problems that you didn't even know you had and then offer you the solution so that you buy it. They prey on your insecurities and even create more so that they can milk your money. When it comes to your skin, the only things that really shouldn't be cheap about that is your foundation and your concealer, because no one looks good with bad skin. It's my own little pet peeve, but the LA Girl concealers, when I first started doing my makeup, I knew nothing about makeup. And I had this really shady friend who would always be getting me to spend my money and then not spending hers. And then she'd like try to make me feel bad and be like, oh my God, you have a shopping addiction, like retail therapy too much. But we'd be going into stores and she'd be like, you need this contour. You'll be looking like an egg. Just like making me feel bad. And she recommended this LA Pro Girl concealer. And it's like everyone was raving about the $2 concealer, and then you put it on and then an hour later you're looking like a grease ball. That shit looks crazy on camera and you're looking bad. Just because it's cheap doesn't mean it's good. So those are things that you should hold out and spend the money on. Good foundation, good concealer. When it comes to eyeshadows and stuff, like they're not all created equal, but for the most part, you can really like mix and make magic with multiple products. I use like a cheek tint, a Maybelline cheek tint on my lips as a lip tint. You know, they create all these extra products that you really, really don't need. And this is where you as a consumer, you need to be smart about the products you're getting. I'm going to get the most bang for my buck with a a cheek tint that works as a lip tint. And then maybe I can make it an eyeshadow too. Over the years, I've kind of become more relaxed about spending money on beauty. I welcome it almost. It just gives me such a great high when I go into the med spa and I get something done. I'd rather spend money on my body than on shit that says I'm wealthy and I'm looking good, I'm living better than most of y'all if I don't actually look the part. And that's how you should be too. No one is ever going to be able to take your good looks away unless you get into like a car accident or something. I know in reality, most people would prefer to hear the message, you're doing too much, you need to stop this maintenance, these high maintenance girlies are stupid. Like, I feel like on the internet and on YouTube, I'm sorry to be rude here, but a lot of people are fucking stupid. It's like you make these people famous for telling you things that make you feel okay, like it's okay to be lazy about your appearance. It's okay to not care. You are enough. You're doing perfect. You guys make these people famous because they're telling you what you want to hear to soothe your ego, to make you feel like you don't need to do more. And while I understand there might be a certain level of delusion you want to maintain, I'm not that creator. I'm not going to give you a band-aid solution to a problem that you're going to be experiencing throughout your life. Like I said, I'd rather you hear it first here versus going out into the world and getting discriminated against and getting treated horrible and really not being able to figure out why. It took me so many shitty situations of being discriminated, and honestly, a whole lot of online bullying as well, to like freaking like, well, not the bullying, honestly, I don't care about that, but honestly, just in real life, just being like going through weird situations, being fat at one point and being ignored, being skinny the next point, and now I'm hot, now I'm relevant, now. Like, I've been through all these like different forms of like experimenting with my looks so that I can collect data to tell you guys what I've learned. Yeah. So I'd rather not give you a band-aid solution to something you're going to be dealing with everywhere you go. You're always going to be dealing with someone discriminating against you or judging you based on your appearance or sizing you up based on how you look, how you speak, all aspects of you. I'd rather you know this than go out into the world and be a dumb bitch like I was. I know for me personally, as I physically leveled up, the world became a lot kinder. The smaller I got, the nicer the world became. And it's the same story for so many women out there. And I can objectively say, I was like, tripping on mushrooms the other night and I was looking at a photo of myself as if I was not me, and I was like, it doesn't really matter what she's going through because of how she looks. It guarantees her a better quality of life experience. All the struggles that I've gone through when I was more what society would deem as physically attractive, I've been able to bounce back from them just because I was beautiful. So honestly, that is so sad to say. I really feel sometimes really nasty about talking about this kind of content because it is so sad to me. But I know, you know what I'm saying? Like, no girl is gonna come on here and tell you, I did this, I did that, and now the world treats me better. Now I'm making more money. Now I'm so much more successful because I rejected certain aspects of myself that society deemed as not beautiful. No one is ever gonna tell you this. Everyone is gonna lie to you. The truth is, beauty will get you in the door, but your brain will get you more. I'm gonna use Tiffany Pollard, for example.
I've had a lot done, but respectably to my face and my image. Plastic surgery has a really bad rap, and I don't like that. So I'm a little bit of an advocate for it. I had my nose done. It's the best nose in the world for me.
Beautiful.
For my face.
Beautiful.
Because it aligned my face. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I love my father with all my heart, but I don't wanna walk around with his big ass nose. I also have my fat buccal pads removed just to give me more symmetry to my face. And I will say this, I've never been more busy ever. Like, non-stop now.
I always says, I think you look beautiful before
Thank
too.
you, and I appreciate it.
I do.
She said in an interview that she started making more money. She's never been more booked and busy after she got her nose job. And I think it's the same for a lot of Black women in the entertainment industry because a thinner, taller nose is more a Eurocentric ideal and deemed as more attractive in our culture. A lot of women will succumb to these beauty standards and then benefit off of them. How is a girl supposed to feel? And I'm not saying Tiffany Pollard did this, by the way, I'm just saying in general. How is a girl supposed to feel when she got a nose job, she bleached her skin, changed her phenotype, and now she's attracting a different quality of man, better quality of man. She's making more money in her career, and all around, like, she's been able to achieve so many things and all her goals that she wanted to, that she couldn't before she did those things. How is a girl supposed to feel after that? It's really a tragic cycle and a painful experience for many. It's a complex emotional journey that a lot of girls go through that affects their self-esteem and identity. Because it's like, if I didn't do all of that, would I not have been where I am? It's like you're rejecting certain aspects of yourself, especially if they don't fit the dominant narrative of what's considered beautiful. It's not fun to think about. It's not nice to think about. We're all human beings who are worthy of love and should be treated with respect and kindness just because we're breathing, but the world ain't that way. So what do, right? You win. You work the system. You come out on top. And sometimes that's going to mean sacrificing aspects of yourself that are holding you back. Or don't. Or don't. Say, get all and just live your life according to your standards, because at the end of the day, all that matters is what you think. All that matters is what you feel about how you're looking in the mirror. All that matters is how you feel when you're laying on that deathbed. So don't. Honestly, my videos are not here to make you feel like you need to do anything. It's really all about what level of the game do you want to play. You don't gotta do shit, okay? But it's about what level of the game that you want to play and what are you willing to do to get there. That's all I'm saying. You need to be really objective and really smart with how you're allocating your money. So for example, it's like strippers, right? There's a lot of pressure for strippers to have these more animated curves, big boobs, big booties. I don't know if you've seen Beauty in Black on Netflix by Tyler Perry, and sorry, spoiler alert, but the girl Body was her name, was kind of pressuring the girl who didn't have a big booty to getting like silicone injections so that she could have a fatter ass, so she could make money, so she could get out of the situation that she was in, so that she could be free and live a better life. Now, the pursuit of beauty should never have, she ended up dying. The pursuit of beauty should never cost you your life. And this is where you need to be smart. If you're a stripper and you need that fat ass to make more money to get your goals done and get where you need to be, then what are you going to do? You're going to get your ass to the gym and build up an ass, or you're going to go to a reputable surgeon and get that shit done. Well, okay, a BBL, a big ass, it's not necessarily your personal look or appeal, but you feel the social pressure to do it. Well, then do it and then lose the weight. Have a goal. Be objective with yourself. Go into this with a focus on the prize. Don't be like these dumb who be out here insecure about everything. Oh, maybe I should do this. Maybe I should do that. She said this, so maybe it would make me look better. Or maybe I do need to do this. You need to be beautiful for you. You need to be able to be happy with how you look and what you've done to yourself in terms of beautifying yourself, whether that be the more extensive things like surgeries or the lighter things like your makeup. It needs to be for you. And if it's for someone else, you need to be extremely strategic with how you're doing this. You need to be able to separate yourself from your character. For me personally, right? I'm a fictional character. Bitch, who is Carmelita? A fictional character. So why would I want to put myself on the internet looking like myself? Why would I want to look like myself? Why wouldn't I want to look like a character? I'm able to separate Carmelita Fox from freaking me. You know, it's two different people, two different personas, two different personalities. Why am I not going to do the things that are going to give me the physical advantage and power over people, especially when it's my job to garner attention? You don't want to be an insecure person who's opening a can of worms that they can't close. Focus on the goal, focus on the prize. Why are you doing this? Why are you beautifying yourself? What's the motivation here? There has to be a deeper reason for why you're doing this or doing any, like, there has to be a deeper reason. Please. I have seen so many girls that were so beautiful. Like Tiffany Pollard was so beautiful before her nose job. And honestly, I prefer it, but I respect her autonomy and her decision, and I respect the hustle, and I see why she did it. It made her quality of life better. But I've been around girls who honestly, like, they were looking at me and they were looking at other girls and they were like, well, I need to like make myself look like that. I've been around girls who were operating on themselves out of a state of insecurity. It wasn't really for them. And then they ended up making themselves look like freak shows or weird or like worse. So everything needs to be in alignment with your own personal standards of beauty and your goals for yourself. If you're broke watching this, you need to be super being smart with how you're going to spend your money. I'm not saying be frugal. I'm saying be strategic about how you're investing your money so that it makes you more, especially if it's on beauty maintenance. Investing your money in things that are going to get you a long-term return. For you, if you want to get out of your situation, it's going to be paramount that you're the best you can look, the most fit you can be. You could be broke, but as long as you don't look broke, life is going to find a way of making itself better. This is where you need to not feel discouraged. I feel like everything is here to teach us and help us become better versions of ourselves. So if you can make yourself look beautiful on a budget with like a bunch of cheap shit, imagine when you get that expendable cash, like how good you're gonna fucking look. Like imagine how good you're gonna be able to put yourself together when you have more money for resources. And that's the way to do it. You don't want to be a slave to anyone else. You don't want to rely on anyone else. This goes for anything. It doesn't even matter with beauty maintenance. You don't want to be someone who needs a whole bunch of people to function as a human being and adult. You want to be able to do things for yourself. You want to be able to know how to cook for yourself, clean for yourself, put yourself together, all these other things. It's just going to give you a better quality of life experience. So if you're broke and impoverished, poverty teaches you to be more resourceful than a lot of other people who don't come across these problems in their daily life. So I feel like you are really in a better position to make yourself look good and to really thrive and get out of your situation if you invest in beauty correctly. Like I said, imagine how good you're gonna fucking look when you get the cash you really need to like make shit happen. I hope this was helpful. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like I said, I'm really grateful and appreciative to you guys who like y'all gassed me up that last video. I was like, well, damn. I mean, I thought I was cute, but not that cute. So I really appreciate you guys, and thank you to those who support me. I know I might seem like a bitch sometimes with how I express myself, but I really am so grateful because there's so many people who try to gaslight me on my appearance and myself and how I speak and all these things, as if I haven't done the hardcore work to work on my physicality and my mental health throughout the years. And that's what you need to do. You need to work on your physicality and your mental health so that when these losers and your haters come in to talk about you, you know who you are and you're unfazed. Don't let anyone make you feel bad about yourself. On that note, I hope you have a good day.